All right, chapter 5, section 7. Now, for a lot of reasons, this is the lesson we put it all together, right? Here's a quick review about SAS, SSS, HL, ASA, and AAS theorems, okay? And all of these are just trying to prove how do we know that one triangle is just exactly like the other, okay? We can't go off of looks, okay? So we have these different ways to do that. We don't need to necessarily know everything, but if we know just these three items, we should be able to figure out everything else out. All right. So what makes today tough is there's not a lot of new stuff. It's really just about understanding how to put all those pieces together to work for us. All right. So here we are. Here's an example. Explain how to prove that this statement is true. Angle A is congruent to D. That's what we're trying to say. And what they want us to do is they don't really want us to write a formal proof. In this section, they really just want us to think about it and to write it down in sentences. Okay? Because if you can think about it, if you can say the words, if you can explain to somebody else, then you can write it down. And if you can write it down, then you can make a proof, a formal proof. So they're just starting us off small here. First of all, we're going to notice, okay, that through the reflexive property, that this are the same. Now, why would that matter? Because I can see that I have already a congruent side. I have a second congruent side. And if I had a third congruent side, and I do because they're sharing it, okay, I can see that I'm leaning towards the SSS theorem, okay? That makes all three sides congruent by the SSS theorem. And since they're congruent, the corresponding pieces should also match, okay? The corresponding pieces should also match. So it would mean that this angle is the same as that one is the same as that one, and more importantly to our question here, it means that that one is the same as that one. Alrighty? That's what we have to write down. They're not asking us to write a formal proof. They just want us to write down and list the steps. So let's take a quick look here. On our daily exercise, we make a plan to prove that angle 1 and 2 are the same. Okay, we're going to prove that this is the same as that. Okay, now, how should we do that? Well, I'll tell you how. I would say, okay, that this one would be the same as this one if this amount and this amount were the same. And how would we know whether this one and this one are the same? We would have to prove that these two triangles are congruent. So let's start again from the top here. First of all, here we have these two triangles. Okay? And from here, two triangles, we notice they both have a double curve. That's one angle. They both have a single curve. That's two angles. They also have a side the same. But of course, notice the side is not between the two angles. It's on the side over here. So what I'm going to say is starting off by A as A, okay, triangle AEB is congruent to triangle. Now, here's AEB. I'm trying to go in the same order. DEC. Okay, so now I show that those two are the same. And if those are the same, then each side and each corresponding angle would also be the same, which would mean angle, now this is the one I'm talking about, the outside one here, ABE is congruent to DCE. And if those two are congruent, okay, then by supplementary angles, angle 1 is the same as angle 2. And that's what I wanted to prove, okay? Didn't need to write a formal proof. They just wanted to list the plan. How do you plan on going from here to there, okay? And that's what they use. It's going to need at least 2 or 3 steps, okay? You're going to need at least 2 or 3 steps. Now, again, because everybody does thinking their own way, it might be more than 3 steps. It might be 4 steps. Your neighbor might do it in 5 steps and you do it in 6 steps. It's okay, right? We're going to talk about some of the mistakes that people make, but for the most part, we're going to just go ahead and leave it like that. Okay? It's because people think of things differently. So you could both be correct, even though one of you did 5 steps and one of you did 6 steps. It still means you both could be correct. So don't let that sway you. Do not let, there is no magic number. You don't need to have three or you need to have six of them or whatever. You just need to go from the beginning to the end. How do you go from what they showed you to what it should be? All right. Now, if you have any questions, you can email me. All right. Ask a friend. Come to tutoring. Thank you.